storm may have physically passed through Fairmont Crest, but the emotional tornado is just touching down. And let me tell you, it is a Category 5 disaster waiting to happen. We all knew that whatever happened in the dark during that terrifying power outage would eventually come to light. But did anyone expect it to ignite a war of this magnitude? The secrets, the lies, and the sheer audacity of the betrayals are reaching a boiling point. If you thought the physical destruction of the country club was bad, just wait until you see the absolute wreckage of these marriages. The truth about that fateful elevator ride is no longer buried in the dark, and the person holding the match to burn it all down is none other than the ultimate schemer herself. Are you ready for the explosion? Let's rewind to that incredibly tense moment in Bill Hamilton's office. We watched Dani Dupree storm in, her guilt eating her alive, demanding that Bill wipe that smug, self-satisfied smirk off his face. She threatened to slap him into next week if he ever muttered the word elevator again. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated panic and rage. But what Dani and Bill didn't realize in their heated, hushed exchange was that the walls have ears. Enter Haley Hamilton. She was standing right there, lurking in the shadows, listening to every single word. Can you imagine the sheer shock rippling through Haley's veins? Her husband, the man she is actively trying to send to an early grave, was busy hooking up with his ex-wife while the world was literally falling apart outside. How will she use this explosive piece of information? Now, a normal, emotionally stable wife might burst into the room, screaming, throwing vases, and demanding a divorce. But we are talking about Haley Hamilton. She doesn't do normal, and she certainly doesn't do emotionally stable. She does calculating. She does ruthless. Instead of causing a massive public scene that could potentially derail her own sinister agenda, Haley's mind immediately went to work. Why blow up her spot when she can turn this into the ultimate weapon? She is already playing a deadly game of chess by slowly poisoning Bill for his $10 million life insurance policy. Why not add a little lucrative side hustle to her murderous plot? What is her next move going to be? Haley decides to play the long, torturous game. She becomes the anonymous puppet master, pulling the strings of Dani's sanity. The psychological warfare begins not with a shout, but with a whisper, or rather, a text message. Haley starts sending cryptic, anonymous texts to both Dani and Bill, hinting that she knows exactly what they did when the lights went out. But texts are easy to dismiss as a prank, right? Haley knows this. She needs hard, undeniable proof to make them sweat. And oh, does she deliver? How far will Haley go to make them pay for their indiscretion? Picture this. Dani's at home, desperately trying to hold her fractured psyche together, putting on a brave face for her loving husband, Andre Richardson. Then, a plain, unmarked envelope arrives. No return address, no signature. Dani's hands tremble as she tears it open, and what she finds inside makes her blood run completely cold. It's security camera footage. High definition, undeniable photos of her and Bill Hamilton stepping into that elevator together on the night of the tornado. The timestamp is right there. The look of panic and undeniable tension between them is captured forever. Dani is absolutely paralyzed with fear. Who sent this? How much do they know? And most importantly, what do they want? The sheer terror that washes over Dani in that moment is palpable. We can feel her heart pounding through the screen. Her entire world, the beautiful, stable, loving life she has built with Andre, is suddenly bouncing on the edge of a razor blade. Andre has been her absolute rock. He has been bending over backward, trying to soothe what he genuinely believes is her post-traumatic stress disorder from surviving the tornado. He has been patient, kind, and unconditionally loving. And here, Dani's holding the photographic evidence of her ultimate betrayal. If Andre sees these photos, if he learns that her trauma is actually infidelity guilt, it will destroy him. Will Dani's guilt finally crush her, or will it forge her into something entirely new? The stakes have never been higher for Dani Dupree. This isn't just about a moment of weakness. This is about the complete and total annihilation of her happy marriage. Andre is a man who knows the deep, agonizing pain of loss, and he trusts Dani implicitly. He defended her. He loves her with every fiber of his being. The thought of breaking his heart, of seeing the disappointment and devastation in his eyes, is worse to Dani than any physical pain. She knows that Bill is a toxic force in her life, a man who gaslights and manipulates her, yet she fell right back into his trap. How can she ever explain that to Andre? Can a marriage survive a lie this massive? Meanwhile, Haley is sitting back, sipping her poison tea and reveling in her newfound power. Blackmailing Dani and Bill gives her a sadistic level of pleasure. She gets to watch them squirm, sweat, and panic, all while playing the role of the innocent, concerned wife. It is the perfect cover. While Bill is distracted by the anonymous threats and his failing health, he won't notice that his wife is the one slipping toxins into his morning coffee. And Dani? Dani is wealthy, desperate, and vulnerable. Haley is poised to drain her bank accounts dry. Will Haley's greed ultimately be her undoing, or is she truly untouchable? We also have to talk about Bill in all of this. The man is fighting a war on two fronts, and he doesn't even know it. On one hand, he is dealing with this anonymous blackmailer who is threatening to expose his dirty little secret. On the other hand, his body is literally shutting down. The hand tremors, the sudden collapses, the inexplicable weakness. Haley's poison is doing its dark work. Bill thinks he is invincible. He thinks he can handle a little blackmail. He even joked to Dani that their hookup was destiny. But how arrogant can one man be? As his health rapidly deteriorates, will he have the strength to fight off this unseen extortionist? Or will the stress of the blackmail accelerate the poison's deadly effects? But here is where the story takes a massive, unexpected turn. If Haley thought Dani was just going to roll over, cry, and empty her trust fund into an offshore account, she severely underestimated the fierce Dupree spirit. Dani is not the same naive woman who used to let Bill walk all over her. Yes, she made a catastrophic mistake, but she is a survivor. As the initial shock wears off, the panic begins to morph into something much more dangerous, pure, unadulterated survival instinct. Dani realizes that surrendering to a blackmailer is a bottomless pit. If she pays once, she will pay forever. What is Dani's counterattack going to look like? Dani makes a chilling, resolute decision. She is not going to surrender. She is going to fight back. This marks the beginning of a vicious war of power and romance. Dani realizes that the photos in the envelope are just copies. Somewhere out there, the original security footage exists. The digital files, the master tapes, whatever it is, she has to find it and destroy it before Andre ever catches wind of it. This mission turns Dani into a woman on the edge, a dangerous, cornered animal willing to cross lines she never thought she would cross. How far into the darkness is Dani willing to step to protect the light of her marriage? Watching Dani navigate this treacherous new reality is going to be television gold. She has to play the loving, recovering wife for Andre, all while secretly hunting down a blackmailer. She has to lie, sneak around, and manipulate the situation to save her own skin. The internal conflict is going to be agonizing. Every time Andre kisses her, every time he tells her he loves her, the guilt will stab her in the chest. But the instinct to survive, to protect her family, overrides the guilt. She becomes ruthless. She becomes dangerous. Will Dani's desperate actions end up causing more damage than the truth ever could? Of course, Dani doesn't know that Haley is the one pulling the strings. In Dani's mind, the suspect list is wide open. Could it be a sleazy country club employee looking for a payout? Could it be Mike Davis trying to destroy Bill's personal life alongside his professional one? Could it be someone from the plasma ring underworld trying to exert leverage? Dani's paranoia is going to skyrocket. She will be looking over her shoulder at every turn, suspecting everyone she meets. This level of extreme stress is bound to make her erratic, which will only make Andre more suspicious. How long can Dani keep this explosive secret contained? The sheer irony of this entire storyline is just delicious. Haley is blackmailing Bill for cheating on her while she is actively trying to murder him. Dani is desperately trying to save her marriage from a secret by creating a web of even more toxic secrets. It is a beautiful, chaotic mess of soap opera perfection. These characters are all trapped in a prison of their own making, and the walls are rapidly closing in. When the truth finally comes out, and we all know it always does, the fallout is going to be biblical. Whose life will be destroyed first? We are hurtling toward a massive, unavoidable collision. What is going to happen when Dani finally uncovers the identity of her tormentor? Imagine the absolute fury when she realizes that Haley Hamilton, the woman she despises, the woman who took her husband, is the one holding her life hostage. The confrontation between these two women is going to be legendary. We already saw them clash in the hospital, but that was just a warm-up. When Dani corners Haley, when the blackmailer becomes the blackmailed, who will come out on top? Will Dani discover Haley's poisoning plot in the process? And let us not forget the collateral damage in all of this. Andre Richardson. He is the innocent bystander standing on the train track. He has been nothing but supportive, loving, and patient. When he inevitably discovers that his wife not only slept with her toxic ex-husband during a life or death crisis, but then engaged in a dangerous illegal cover-up to hide it from him, his heart will shatter into a million pieces. The betrayal will be absolute. Can Andre ever forgive Dani for this? Or will this be the final nail in the coffin for their once beautiful romance? As we look ahead to the next few weeks in Fairmont Crest, one thing is absolutely certain: no one is safe. The secrets are too big, the lies are too deep, and the players are far too ruthless. Dani is on a warpath to destroy the evidence. Haley is drunk on power and poison, and Bill is fading fast while holding on to a ticking time bomb. The tension is so thick, you could cut it with a knife. Make sure you keep your eyes glued to the screen, because the next episode is guaranteed to be even more chaotic, more emotional, and more explosive than ever before. Until next time, stay dramatic, soap fans.